What's up, sneaker people? It's your boy FB Kicks and Gear, and I am back with another video. And here we have the Jordan 1 Low Year of the Rabbit. And I just wanted to say before I start this video, I am trying something new. I am filming this video in the cinematic mode. I don't know how well this is going to turn out. It might look good, it might look bad, but I'm using this as a test bed for that type of filming style. I'm trying to switch things up, look into some better kind of production quality. So yeah, I'm trying that. Bear with me, guys. I am just trying something new. So if for whatever reason after this video is all chopped and cut and edited, it looks not how we would like it, you only have to deal with it for this video. So yeah, we have the Jordan 1 Low Year of the Rabbit. This is a rep, and I just wanted to do a relatively quick legit check-in guide because this is a sleeper shoe, and I call it a sleeper shoe because there's not a huge amount of hype around them. There's some hype, but there's not a huge amount of hype, but they go for $1,000. So with every shoe that has that kind of retail price tag, it's important that we know what the real pair looks like. So I just have a few tips. Since I don't have the authentic pair on me, there's a few tips that I would like to give so that you can weed out some of the different kinds of fakes that are out there. So with all that said, remember that just like with every video, you can see detailed pictures of this shoe on the Instagram account that's popping up right now. Focus on those details, guys, because it is important. And let's get into the video by first starting with the box. So this is the box for the Year of the Rabbit Jordan 1 Lows, and this is a super fancy special box. But first thing I can tell you is that while this box is fancy and special, it's incorrect. It does a pretty good job trying to replicate it, but it is incorrect. And mostly it's this marble kind of effect that they're going for, or that's what I assume that they're going for. The definition of the design here is way too bold, way too in your face. Marble is actually blended a lot better than this. All of these designs and edges and things like that are way too well defined. On the authentic pair, it does not look like this. The overall kind of presence is the same, but this does not look as bold and defined and in your face. The colors blend so much better together, creating that marble effect. It still looks fancy, but this is definitely wrong. Looking at the box is an easy way to tell the difference. It's hard to really compare things because I do not have an authentic pair, but here's a look at the tag. Pay attention to that. The gold is super reflective all the way around the shoe, so I assume that that's what the authentic pair will look like as well, but it's super reflective. The next thing to look for is the paper, the marble paper. Frankly, the paper is pretty bad. There are some reps that don't come with the design paper at all. I've seen reps that come with just regular white paper. You know, that's wrong. You want to look at something like this, but a little bit more crisp, a little bit more blending of the colors, like I said. Overall, this is a rep. They're not really trying to get the outer packaging 100%, so pay attention to that. And pulling that out, we have a pair of spare laces that come in that box, the disposable box that Jordan Brand uses every now and then. Pretty nice touch. So that's the box. Pay attention to the overall design and aesthetic. That's how you'll be able to tell the difference. But let's get into the shoes. So here we have the shoes, the Year of the Rabbit Jordan 1 Lows, and there are a few things that you should be able to point at to pretty easily. This rep gets some of that stuff right, but it still gets a good amount wrong. So let's kind of get into it. First thing that we want to pay attention to here is the suede that's all over the shoe. Now this rep is a premium, very nice feeling suede. That's what you're supposed to, that's what you want to see. It has some good length to it. There are batches of reps out there that don't have this type of nap, don't have this type of texture. It is super short. It's like almost like the suede has been buzz cut. That's not what you want to see. You want to see this type of length all around the shoe, especially on this brown part. You want to see that kind of length. Take a look at the light blue area, the swoosh. This is what you want to see from a material perspective. The one thing that really makes this one easy to identify as a rep, in my opinion, is the suede all around the toe box is entirely too faded. It's entirely too gray. It should look a lot more closer to the internal sock liner than it does now here. This is just way too gray. If I'll tell you what, if this was just a little bit more brown, I would think that these are probably the best reps of these that I've seen so far. But that is definitely something that's very easy to pay attention to. It's that gray. Here's an example of what the color should more closely represent, but this is bad suede. In fact, it almost like these have these reversed. The internal sock liner is made with the internal suede. It's like they have the colors reversed. If this was this color and this was that color, it would be closer. And the bad rep, in my opinion, the worst rep, it has them reversed, with this being the right color and this being the wrong color. But all that to say, it should look like this color, but look how short that suede is. That is not what you want. Look how much darker blue everything is. Look at that oversized swoosh, which is going to be the next thing I talk about. This is not what you want to see. You want to see a nice, tight, small swoosh. That's the next talking point that I want to go over. Look at the size of that swoosh. This does not have the 2015, 2016 OG size swooshes on the side. Material looks pretty good. Color looks pretty good. I'd say probably the biggest issue with this entire shoe is the faded nature of the upper. If this was a darker brown, we would be looking at a very, very scary replica. The next thing that we're going to look at is the back leather here. I have seen some reps that just use a entirely gold piece of leather in the back, but it's supposed to be gold accents to it or gold qualities to it, but it's supposed to be a brown transitionary leather that goes from like a gold-ish kind of color to this. It's marbled just like you would see on a pair of like high quality leather shoes. Authentic examples that I've seen have the leather behind there transitioning, and you can actually see the color difference in between the embroidery embossing, but it should not be gold. Most rep batches have it gold, and that's not what you want to see. Another thing that you want to look for when you're authenticating, you want to look at the tag here where the rabbit is. You want to make sure that gold is reflective, and you also want to make sure that this rabbit head is fully detailed and fully outlined. I have seen reps that don't even have the eyeball there. Very low quality reps, but you want to see it look like this. Obviously those numbers mean something because there's only 5,000 pairs. Make sure that you don't see the number that you have online for sale somewhere else. Check out reviews, check out a whole bunch of stuff so you can make sure that you had the only pair, because if you don't, you're dealing with a potential situation where they're fake. Inside, the shoe is stuffed with paper and not a cardboard insert, and you're greeted with a sewn in patch on the insole. Make sure that this patch isn't too puffy. This replica pair isn't puffy at all. You want to see it flat and not stick out. So that looks pretty good. I believe that the gold stitching should be a little bit more prominent. It should be a little bit more brighter, but it's something that you should look at. And honestly, other than that, the laces look pretty good. I would say they might be on the thicker side, but that's the style that they're going for. You don't want them too thin, but this is definitely on the thicker side. Just pay attention to the Nike Air tag on the tongue, just to give you guys something to reference. And then just an overall 360 of the shoe. I can do a blacklight test, but I'm going to be honest, I don't have an authentic reference for what it should look like. So for you guys that do have them, please tell us what we should be looking for. So when we scan it, nothing really going on here. The uppers aren't very reactive. You get a lot of reactivity out of the red of the insole. No reactivity out of the Nike Air tag at all. Let's see behind it. No reactivity out of that either. You get the back of the tongue that lights up. Same goes for the other shoe. No guide marks. I will say that this shoe is put together really, really well. This rep is actually selling me on the shoe, but I don't know if I would pay $1,000 for this shoe, but I might have to because they're pretty dope. Maybe I can come up with a trade or something there. I can find a good pair. But yeah, that's it. Nothing really reacts, just the inside liner, the back of the tongue, and the red of the insole. So that was the blacklight test. For the sake of being thorough, let's take a look at these laces. They're more of the yellow, on the yellow side. So you guys tell me if this is matching what you would expect to see. I'd probably wear these in these more than these puffy furry laces. So with all that said, guys, that's the end of the video. Not much really to say. I just wanted to get these out there so that people can start identifying what the rep looks like, because if you know what the rep looks like, you'll be able to identify the authentic pair in comparison. So with all that said, guys, remember that you can see all of these shots and information on the shoe on the Instagram account that's on the screen. And with all that said, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.